Hi, I'm Kerry Grinkmeyer. I'm the host of Best of Us Investors. I'm a long-term investor, and I invest basically on what I think the future is going to look like. And yesterday morning, I got a email from Carlos. Carlos is a member of our tribe. He frequents the Discord, and he asked me a question, and he said, "Kerry, I don't have a lot of money." And I'm not real active in investing, but if there was one stock that I could buy that I could then hold for 5, 10 years, what would it be to really benefit from what's happening in our world? And I wrote back to Carlos and I said, look, I'm no longer a licensed financial advisor. I gave that up when I sold my business in 2005. So I really can't answer your question, but I said, watch my videos, and I think you'll pick up what I believe the future is and where you should invest. So later in the afternoon, I had an interview set up, a Zoom call with Charles Allen. Charles is the CEO of a cryptocurrency company by the ticker of, or the name of BTCS. And we were talking about if I would do a video on his company, and I'm not in it. And again, it's cryptocurrency, so I wasn't really up to speed on it. And so I said, but Jim Wells might be interested, and I'll share your information, and maybe he'll do a video on it. And so our conversation extended, and I was talking to him about the NFTs, the non-fungible tokens. And he said, yeah, I think that's going to be a big part of investing in the future if you get into the right part of it. And he made the statement, the real way to make money in the stock market is to recognize a trend or something that is going to change the world before it really takes hold. And he used the example of back in the 90s, we had the internet, but nobody really understood where the internet was going. And if, in fact, you had the foresight to not invest in the internet, but invest in the company that was going to take the internet to where it was ultimately going to go. And he actually sped up the conversation to say that, think of it as how we used to think as retail as brick and mortar. And then a company came along called Amazon and basically changed everything. It was not part of retail like Sears and Penny's and Kmart and Walmart and Target. It wasn't like that. It changed it. So what you have to do to make big money is to recognize a change that is occurring, and then who is going to implement that change to bring it to the world. That was interesting. That stuck in my mind. So later in the day, I'm searching the internet and I'm reading, and I came across an article that said, "Did you know the story that that Jeff Bezos in 1998 invested $250,000 of his own money in a company called Google before it went public?" I didn't know that. Do you know that if he still has those shares, that $250,000 has turned into $6 billion? I didn't know that. But it then basically brought into focus what Charles Allen and I had been talking about. And I then got to thinking, where are we now that I can identify a change that is going to be comparable to e-commerce and the growth of Google, or yes, the growth of Google. So that's what I want to talk about in this video. I don't want to talk about what the price of Neo is going to be, and I don't want to talk about whether Workhorse is going to make an electric truck or Nikola is going to make a, because the train has left the station on that. That's done. We know who's going to win that battle. Who's going to take that change of EV and turn it into a $6 billion company. We know that. It's Tesla. But there are other opportunities to invest and create a $6 billion empire. And I want to talk to you about that. And I want to share you my thoughts, because that's where I want to take this channel. I don't want to talk about what the market's going to do today. I want to talk how I can turn your 250,000 into 6 billion, or your 25,000 into 6 million. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. So let's do that. While I'm gone here, taking care of some administrative work, subscribe, hit the like button, helps the algorithm, and we're going to talk about your next $6 billion investment. Okay.
Best of Us Investors presents Kerry Grinkmeyer.
So is this possible? Was Jeff's deal a fluke? So I went back and I looked. Okay, I said Tesla is the train that's already left the station. In June of 2010, I could have bought Tesla for $3.80. If I had reinvested Jeff's $250,000, I would have gotten 65,000, almost 800 shares, 65,800 shares. 11 years later, that 250,000 would be worth 48 million. Okay, I can live on 48 million. That's an 11-year turn. Is that a fluke? Okay. On July of 1997, I could have invested my Jeff's 250,000 in his company and paid $1.54 per share. That would have bought me 162,337 shares. That 24 years later would be worth $550 million. I can live on that. That's over 10 times, but it's twice the year, so, of the Tesla. Okay, then I got to thinking, back in 1968, I bought my first computer. It was a Gateway computer, and the computer really wasn't worth anything unless it had an operating system, and a Gateway took the Windows operating system. If I'd bought an Apple, it would have been the Apple system. But in October of 1968, I could have bought Microsoft for the equivalent of 10 cents a share. That would have, if again, Jeff's 250,000, that would have bought me 2,500,000 shares. And that today, 34 years later, would be worth $650 million. Wow. So then I thought, okay, let's even bring it closer. What if in 2010, 11 years ago, I had bought into Bitcoin? In July of 2010, at the start of the month, it was selling for 0.0008 cents. That's a thousandth of a 8,000th of a cent. By the end of the month, though, it had increased in value. By the end of July, it was up to 8 cents a share. So let's say I was late getting to the party, and I bought at 8 cents a share with Jeff's $250,000. I would have gotten 312,500,000 shares. Okay? At the current price, no, that's if I got it at 8 thousandths of a share. that would have turned into $19.6 trillion. But again, I was late to the party. I got it at 8 cents a share. So that's only worth $196.6 billion today. That's since 2010. That's a 10-year span. So that's the trick. I did an interview several months ago with Jim Rogers, and I said, "What's the real trick in investing?" And Jim says the real trick is recognizing an undervalued asset and taking ownership of it before the rest of the market has a clue. So I'm thinking, okay, what is the undervalued asset? Well, my belief, and if you saw my video, I guess it was on today is, I guess it was on Wednesday. It has a picture of Jerome Powell and me on it, and it talks about the booming of the market. In there, I take something from 60 Minutes and they're talking to Dr. Hepburn, and he's part of DARPA. DARPA is part of the Defense Department, and the government through the Defense Department spends a lot of what he calls moonshot money on finding companies or technologies that are going to be major in the future. And they talk about a aircraft carrier that had a whole bunch of cases of the coronavirus, and they wanted to make sure that in the future that could not bring a U.S. warship down to disaster. So they developed a implant that would tell you 24 hours before you got any kind of sickness. And then later in the video, I showed an interview with Kevron McJared, and he told us about what they're working on, and that he will create a therapy that you will be able to be inoculated, and you will be protected from all kinds of viruses, including the flu, and as he said, viruses that we don't even know anything about. And I loved what he said. He said at the end, "This is not science fiction. This is science fact." So where is this all going? This is all going to, Carlos, one stock you should buy today is CRISPR. It's CRISPR. It is the Google of, what was it, 1998. It is the Tesla of 2010. It is the Bitcoin of 2010. Because this is going to change our lives. This is going to change our lives much as computers changed our lives back in 1986 when Microsoft went public, much as the internet changed our lives when Tesla went public at $1.54. CRISPR is the equivalent. Now, are there going to be spin-offs? Are there going to be others that benefited from it? Yeah, there are. But my belief, Carlos, is that the company that you can buy today is CRISPR. And if you have $250,000, it's going to turn into anywhere from $6 billion to, what is it? The Bitcoin equivalent is $196 billion in the future. That's my belief. Now, then what I was thinking, going back to Charles Allen, the CEO of BTCS, is what is in 2021? We know that CRISPR's there. That's 2020. This is 2021, 2022, 2023. What is the technology? What is the internet of 2021, 2022, 2023 that is going to change the world much as Amazon, Google, Tesla, Microsoft, Bitcoin has. Well, Bitcoin is built on a technology called blockchain. This is the key. This is the key. This is the internet of 1998, blockchain. Now, how can I become astute in blockchain? I need to read. Much as I have become astute in CRISPR and genome sequencing by reading books like Lifespan and The Kraken Creation, and I'm right now reading the book of the Kraken the Code, or it's about Jennifer Doudna. What I know is the knowledge I've acquired from these 3 books has given me an advantage. I've talked to you about it. You can find a link to all these 3 books in my description. What I know is that if 100,000 people see this video in the next 6 months, and I explain that you can become knowledgeable of CRISPR and the difference it's going to make in the world by going down into the description and going and buying these 3 books on Amazon, or subscribing to Audible and listening to the 3 books over the next 3 months, you can improve your position dramatically. You will become a 1%er. What I know is, if this video is seen by 100,000 people, somewhere between 5 or 10 of them will actually do this. And that's including you. Somewhere between 5 or 10 of the 100,000 will actually do the work, read the books, to become astute on what CRISPR and genome sequencing and how it's going to change the world. Now, what I'm going to do is, I've already read these books. I'm going to now educate myself on blockchain, because I know that if again, 100,000 people see this, probably, again, only 5 or 10 of you will actually become knowledgeable of blockchain, so that you can take your $250,000 and turn it into $196 billion. Because there will be another Bitcoin, and it will be built on blockchain. And it won't look anything like Bitcoin. It's going to change the world and how the world moves forward. It's going to be part of the 4th revolution. I believe it's going to happen. One of the areas it's going to happen is in the art world, in the fine art world, not the digital art world. I don't think your digital kitties are going to become something of huge consequence. The global art world is something in the neighborhood of $64 billion. And the global art world is made up, for the most part, the big part of it, of one-of-a-kind paintings. Now, what if I created a company and we called it Best of Art? And I went to the museum in Holland, in the Netherlands, that has the Vincent van Gogh painting that I showed you the other day that I painted. And I said to them, look, I want to create another income stream for you. And what I want to do is, I want to bring my equipment in here, and I want to scan the Vincent van Gogh painting that you have that is priceless. And I want to know the depth of the black oil that's on the hat of the waiter that's serving in that painting. And then I want to take and 3D print that painting. I want to 3D print 10 copies of it, and it's yours. And you and I will then make it available, maybe through Sotheby's, maybe through our own channel, and we will sell those 10 copies of this Van Gogh painting that there is one of a kind of, and it's priceless. There will be 10 copies. What do you think they're worth? Let's put a priceless price of $500 million on that Van Gogh. Would the copy sell for $50,000, $500,000? I don't know, but it's going to sell for something. And then what if I told the museum, okay, now as someone buys it and it's in blockchain and they want to sell it, in order to sell it, they got to enter blockchain and record that sale, and thus you, the museum in the Netherlands, will get a commission. And so every time it sells, you will get a commission. So your business model has just changed, because you will not only have a Van Gogh, you've probably got another 2,000 paintings here in your museum between what you show and what you've got in your basement. What if we could make all of those available to this $64 billion industry in fine art? Could we double the industry? I think we could. I think we could. It's growing currently at a rate of 32% per year. What could we turn it into? This is blockchain. This is your opportunity to duplicate what Jeff Bezos did in 1998. Learn blockchain. First of all, learn CRISPR. Learn genome sequencing. You've still got an opportunity there. But that's what this channel is going to turn into. That's what I want to do. I do not want to talk about Workhorse and Neo and all those crazy things. That train has left the station. It truly has. The opportunity is in genome sequencing, CRISPR, and blockchain. And there will be something else. That's what I want to do. Because that way, I can make a difference in my family's life. I can create massive wealth, just our buddy Jeff did. Took a $250,000 investment and turned it into $6 billion. Or the guy who bought Bitcoin at 8 cents a share on July 2010 and turned it into $196.6 billion today. That's investing. That's making money. That's what Best of Us Investors is all about. Go to the website, give me your email, give me your name, and I'll keep you up to speed. This is fun. This is what I enjoy. I'll talk to you again tomorrow.